I want a stew buddy about the Assyrian Empire, the greatest and most brutal empire in the ancient world. They were also one of the first great trading networks in the world, controlling trade routes for centuries and amassing vast wealth. It is truly amazing how they built such an incredible army from scratch with a military strategy that was so ahead of its time. The Assyrians would often use scorched earth tactics when fighting their enemies, killing everyone and burning their fields before they even got there. And then afterwards, they'd take all their plunder back to Asher and never really give it back. Can you imagine? Hey, you need to see this bronze statue of an Assyrian lion huntress. Look at her posture and the power in her muscles. She has the body of a lioness and the head of a woman. The details are insane, and she's holding a bow and arrow, ready to take down any prey. And check out the inscription on the base. It says, "She who turneth away none." This fierce warrior represents the strength and skill of the Assyrian Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in ancient history. The Assyrians were known for their exceptional military skills, conquering vast territories and imposing their dominance on the ancient world. Their military success can be attributed to several factors, including their strategic brilliance, advanced weaponry, and ruthless tactics. One key aspect of their military prowess was the development of a highly efficient and disciplined army. Unlike many other ancient armies, which were primarily composed of citizen soldiers or conscripts, the Assyrians maintained a standing army that consisted of professional soldiers. This allowed for greater specialization and expertise within the ranks, as well as the ability to execute complex military maneuvers. Assyrian soldiers were organized into various units, including infantry, cavalry, and chariots, each with their own distinct roles and responsibilities. Infantry formed the backbone of the army, equipped with spears, swords, and bows and arrows. Cavalry played a crucial role in reconnaissance, scouting, and swift attacks, while chariots provided heavy firepower and psychological intimidation. The Assyrian army also incorporated innovative siege warfare techniques, laying siege to cities and fortresses with battering rams, catapults, and other devices designed to break through enemy defenses. In addition to their military organization, the Assyrians excelled in the use of iron weapons and armor, which gave them a significant advantage over their contemporaries. They were among the first civilizations to harness the power of iron, which was stronger and more durable than the bronze used by many other cultures. This technological edge enabled the Assyrians to inflict greater damage on their enemies while protecting themselves from incoming attacks. The Assyrians also employed psychological warfare tactics, including the use of propaganda and the deliberate targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure. They would often inscribe messages on the gates of the cities they conquered, boasting of their military achievements and threatening their enemies. However, perhaps the most feared aspect of the Assyrian army was their brutality and ruthlessness. The Assyrians were known for their scorched earth tactics, which involved the deliberate destruction of enemy resources and infrastructure, including farms, villages, and water systems. This scorched earth approach not only weakened their opponents, but also served as a warning to other potential enemies. Despite their military prowess, the Assyrian Empire eventually collapsed in the 7th century BCE due to a combination of internal and external factors. Rebellions within the empire, combined with attacks from neighboring powers such as the Medes and Babylonians, led to the disintegration of Assyrian control. Nevertheless, the legacy of their military achievements and innovations in warfare continued to influence later empires and civilizations. Now I want to share something really interesting with you. You know how we talked about the Assyrians having an advanced understanding of military strategy and tactics? Well, get this, they even developed one of the earliest known military parade drills, believe it or not. Imagine the scene. Rows of soldiers in formation, moving in perfect unison, displaying their weapons and armor, all while the crowd watches in awe. Yep, You guessed it, it's like a mini army show-off, but don't underestimate it. This was no child's play. These drills were a serious display of military might, intended to intimidate their enemies and showcase the strength of the Assyrian army. Talk about a power move. What's even cooler is that we have some of the earliest surviving descriptions of these military parades, thanks to an Assyrian military manual called the Board of Commissioners. This ancient text, which dates back to around 700 BC, describes in detail the various formations and maneuvers used in Assyrian military parades. The manual includes instructions for soldiers on how to march, how to handle their weapons, and how to perform various maneuvers, giving us a glimpse into the discipline and precision required to participate in these displays of military might. The Board of Commissioners is not only a testament to the sophistication of the Assyrian army, but also provides valuable insights into the culture and history of one of the ancient world's most formidable empires. Now let me tell you about something really fascinating that I recently stumbled upon. You know how the Assyrians were known for their love of luxury and their passion for hunting wild animals? Well, guess what? They took it to a whole new level with a unique form of hunting wild cattle that you won't learn anywhere else. They actually kept records of their hunts, showcasing their obsession with this sport. In these records, they listed the number of cattle hunted, the months of the hunts, and even the places where they went on these adventures. Talk about a true passion for the sport. But that's not all. They also kept detailed maps showing the location of these hunts, marking them with symbols of bulls and horses. What's even more fascinating is that they had different symbols for different types of cattle, indicating the variety of species they were hunting. These hunting records are not just a fun fact about Assyrian culture, they actually reveal a lot about their society and way of life. For example, the fact that they kept detailed records shows that they valued accuracy and documentation. It also shows that they had a deep connection to the land and its resources, as well as a respect for the animals they hunted. Think about it. Back in those days, people didn't have fancy GPS systems or high-tech cameras to track their hunts. They had to rely on their instincts and their knowledge of the terrain to find and capture their prey. It's a testament to their skills and abilities as hunters that they were able to keep track of their hunts so accurately. And hey, if you're enjoying this video and learning something new, why not show your support? Your support means the world to me. Okay, now let's talk about another fascinating aspect of the Assyrian Empire, their royal palaces. You won't believe the opulence and grandeur of these magnificent structures. Get ready to be amazed. The Assyrian kings were known for their lavish lifestyle, and their palaces were the epitome of luxury and power. One of the most impressive examples of Assyrian architecture is the palace of Ashurnasirpal-Tqu in Nimrud. Built in the 9th century BC, this palace complex spanned over 30 acres and featured ornate decorations, including intricate carvings and glazed bricks. The palace walls were decorated with scenes from the king's military campaigns, as well as mythical creatures and religious deities. Another remarkable example is the palace of Sennacherib in Nineveh, which boasted stunningly beautiful gardens, including the famous Hanging Gardens, which were considered one of the ancient world's 7 wonders. These gardens were a marvel of engineering, featuring tiered platforms filled with lush vegetation and exotic plants, all watered by an ingenious irrigation system. The Assyrians were also known for their skilled craftsmanship, and their palaces showcased their mastery of various art forms. The royal residences were adorned with sculptures, reliefs, and paintings depicting various subjects, including scenes from mythology, history, and daily life. The Assyrian artists were particularly skilled in depicting human figures with great attention to detail and realism. One of the most iconic examples of Assyrian art is the winged bull, also known as the Lamassu, which served as a protective deity for the palace and its inhabitants. These colossal creatures were carved in stone and had the body of a bull and the wings and head of a human, symbolizing the Assyrian king's divine authority and power. Overall, the Assyrian palaces were not just centers of royal power and luxury, but also served as important cultural and administrative hubs of the empire. The magnificent architecture and artwork that adorned these palaces continue to inspire awe and wonder today, offering a glimpse into the splendor of one of the ancient world's most formidable empires. All right, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that might surprise you: the Assyrian Empire's take on yoga. Believe it or not, the Assyrians were onto something that modern yogis would appreciate. You see, back in the day, the Assyrian Empire wasn't just about war and politics, it was also about balance and flexibility, both on and off the mat. Now hold on a second. Don't start picturing Assyrian warriors striking warrior poses mid-battle. It wasn't exactly that dramatic. Instead, it was more like a form of exercise and training for soldiers. You see, the Assyrians believed that a strong mind and body were essential for a successful military campaign. So they developed a series of exercises that focused on flexibility, strength, and endurance. These exercises weren't just for the elite troops either. They were part of the military training for everyone, regardless of social status. Soldiers were taught to practice these exercises regularly, not just to stay in shape, but also to prepare for the physical demands of battle. And let's face it, being an ancient soldier wasn't exactly a walk in the park. Carrying heavy armor, marching for long distances, and fighting against all odds required a certain level of physical fitness that could only be achieved through regular exercise. So next time you find yourself struggling to touch your toes or hold that downward dog pose, just remember, the Assyrian Empire was likely nailing it centuries ago. Who knows? Maybe there's a hidden Assyrian yoga instructor somewhere in your family tree waiting to be discovered. Namaste.